Hey guys, today we're at Lake Miramar once again, and we're going to walk you through a couple of different installations. One of them is going to be a Transom Adapter installation on a Van Honk's Shot 10-4. So there's our Transom Adapter as it ships. We do have a tiller steering on here. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to change this tiller steering to a pole steering, because a pole steering will allow you to sit on the chair in your kayak and be able to just sort of twist your wrist and turn instead of having to reach back and do a sort of a long sweep to turn. So we're going to do the installation on the kayak and walk you through the steps and give you some hints and hopefully make it clear on how this works. So we've got our K1 motor here. I'm just going to point out a couple of things. You'll notice that the K1 will come with a spacer here. That spacer is for certain adapters we sell, so it just makes it look nice and flush. Some of the adapters you will have to take that spacer off. So for instance, on this adapter, that spacer will need to come off so that moose horn can go into the motor. So taking off that spacer is very simple. You just wiggle it off and it comes right off. Okay, so that spacer is there for paddleboard adapters and some of the rudder adapters. You'll also get a pack of nuts and bolts on there. You'll notice that there are two different sizes. The front will take slightly longer bolts than the back. So just remember that when you're installing your adapter on there. So now that we have our motor on our adapter nice and secure, we're going to secure the wire to the pole, and for that we've got these little clips here, and they'll just keep things nice and tidy. So you put your clip on, you run one of these zip ties through it, and that will enable you to get that cable around nice and tidy. And this prevents your cable from dangling in the water and just sort of being out of place. And we're going to put another one. We know we're going to go down on this. Let's take a quick look at that. We're going to be right about there. So that's a good height. It's just below the kayak. So if we put another one of these cable ties just below there, that will make things nice and tidy as we're going along in the water. That's that, and you want to. There are clips to just snip those off. And there we go. So now our cable is nice and tidy. Now we're going to run the cable to our battery. We got our 768 sitting here. One thing you'll notice on the K1s, we do have an improved nut here for grabbing onto, and this has been something everyone's been asking us for. So in the K1 now, we have these nice gnarly nuts that are on the motor that gets onto our battery right there. Really, that's all the tools you need, guys. Just one Phillips screwdriver and a pair of clips or scissors to cut off the zip ties. Our kill switch is on. Our remote is already synced. We can run this at speed 1 just to make sure things are running. And we are running, so we are good to go. So one thing I'm going to do as well is run you guys through some of the features of the Transom Adapter. Obviously this is your sort of old-fashioned plate adapter, so it just gets onto any vertical surface, and you're able to tighten this down with these two nice gnarly bolts. So there's one, and there's the other one. Now one thing some people may or may not know is that you're able to lock this to your boat actually. This is a feature I found out later in life, but these two go up there and you can actually put a lock on there and lock this onto your boat so it's secure. A couple of the features, you do have adjustment here for making sure this is sort of the right angle going into the water. For this boat, we can put it on the last setting. It would be a 90-degree setup, so it's easy. We do have a lock here as well that locks this down. So if you wanted to steer with your rudder or whatever, you can lock this down. And we also have a sort of a maximum drop clip here that helps you drop into the water, so you won't go past that point. So that's, oops, sorry, should have tightened that first. So let's say you wanted it up here, that's the maximum you want to get into the water. So you just tighten that, so when it drops, it'll stop right there. We're going to use that same clip when we switch from our tiller steering to pole steering on this adapter, and we'll show you how that's done as well. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put the pole steering on here. It's a little bit easier to steer the motor with the pole steering as opposed to the tiller steering, because you don't have to reach back. When you do get this adapter, it does come with 2 lengths of pipe, so you do have a 2-foot and a 1-foot pipe, and you do have this grip, so you can choose to put that grip on either one and use it on either one, depending on what kind of boat you're on. But really, for kayaks, the most ideal way to steer would be that pole steering. Now, the pole steering and the tiller steering work on all of the adapters we offer. So you can use both of these steering systems on our Power Pole adapter, you can use them on the Transom adapter. Pretty much any adapter we have that has a vertical pipe down, you can use either pole steering or tiller steering on them. So we're going to go ahead and install the pole steering on here and show you guys how that works, and then we'll remove the tiller steering. So your pole steering does come with this bracket, and what you're going to use to put a paint handle or a paintbrush handle or a broomstick in there. You can use a telescopic one. We've got this one from a hardware store, and we have improved this adapter so it actually fits onto more of these brushes. We have 2 versions of this. The latest one does fit onto pretty much any brush now, the 3/4 inch thread. So there is that part, and there is the part that gets attached to our pole. Now this ships with a zip tie, but the zip tie is really to keep things in place while you put the nut and bolt and secure this down properly. So we will put the zip tie on there, and the zip tie will help us sort of keep it secure and keep it in place. But really what holds this together is this nut and bolt. It goes right there, and it gets attached from underneath. Now we're going to use the same Allen key that helped us adjust that clamp earlier, but we do need a pair of pliers to hold this. Just cut. Now we have our pole steering here nice and secure. I'm going to loosen that up a little bit, and you'll see that that'll drop. And this is going to be our new way to steer this kayak. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now and put this pole on here. Let's get that off there. Let's see how that works. And you can put this either above or below, depending on what kind of setup you've got. I'm going to put it below here because that'll give me a nicer line to my seat, and you can get that on there. You got a little washer and a bolt on there. You don't really need a wrench for up here, you can hand tighten this, and once we have that on there, we can use our pole. Okay. Now this goes to our seat, and we're now able to steer this kayak without having to swing our arm with just a twist of your wrist. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to remove this, and that will become our primary steering method. Alright guys, so we have our Transom adapter now installed on a Van Hunks Shad 10.4 kayak. The Van Hunks does ship with this Transom plate, so it's a really easy install. There are other adapters we offer, obviously, if you don't have a plate like that, and you can purchase plates like this from many of the kayaks that are out there. A couple of things to remember, again, the features of this adapter. We have the pole steering, obviously, which makes it really nice for steering from your seat, and we do have a telescopic pole here, so you can stand up, and you can steer standing up as well if you wanted to. And when you are coming in, there is a feature for this to kick up, so you can get that out of the way, out of the water. You do have that nice sturdy face on this motor, so if you do hit, hopefully you won't do too much damage, but you could also damage your kayak, so keep that in mind. And that's about it, guys. That's the installation. So we're gonna get on the water and give this a test.